The Arc is there when no one else is.
The Arc is compassion.
The Arc is hope.
Empowerment. Support.
The Arc is an organization that helps people.
The Arc is helping hands.
The Arc is a gift. Having this little child come into our life in our early 40s, after we had already raised our children and thought the house was going to be ours, was a big challenge at first. Zachary was a wonderful baby, did things very early. He walked early, he talked, he learned all the safety devices in our house by the time he was a year old.
About 2.5 years, I guess, we started noticing some changes.
We just noticed that he wasn't progressing like some of the other children were progressing.
And they found he is autistic.
First we were in denial. We just couldn't believe. I mean, it was one thing to raise your grandchild and to go through that, and now to hear that this child was autistic. So it was really terrifying to hear that diagnosis. It was very frustrating. Nobody was telling us where to go or how to get there. You just kind of struggled along. You felt very isolated.
The first time we heard anything about the Arc was last spring.
When Jay first came back from one of the classes at the Arc, I think the first thing that I saw was relief that he was not alone, that we were not alone in this fight.
Because of the Arc, we got the answers. So I definitely walked away with a sense that, okay, I'm prepared. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going.
The Arc has made a difference in our life and how we feel about things. We feel like we can help Zachary succeed to his ultimate by all the knowledge they have given us. And we didn't have that prior to the Arc. The Arc to us is a piece of our heart. It's given us a gift to take a very, very special child and make his world everything that it's supposed to be. It's a gift.
The Arc is a great place to find community resources to help your family out.
The Arc is a community.
The Arc is powerful.
The Arc is advocacy. Andrew was born with a rare chromosomal abnormality called ring chromosome 22. It was difficult. He didn't fit into the normal mold. He didn't fit into what the other kids his age were doing, and there was no other group out there to identify with. It was a feeling of being lost and alone. We became more involved with the Arc through a training for transition workshop. It gave us the foundation and building blocks to build his life after school. It's a very scary time going from high school graduation into transition and then out into the adult world, especially for someone like Andrew who needs a lot of support, who's nonverbal, who needs someone to help him. It's terrifying. And then I had what I call my epiphany. That day I realized Andrew's job was going to be to smile. And his smile out in the community, wherever he was and whatever he was doing, was going to say to people, I have a place in life. And this is my job, is to be out here doing what you're doing. I just do it differently. His life after high school has been very rich and full. Andrew has been skiing since he was 3 years old. He swims. Andrew also goes horseback riding on Fridays, and that is very empowering. The Arc of Jefferson County has enriched our lives through their trainings and education. They've saved our lives in helping us to find services for Andrew. The Arc is advocacy.
The Arc is friendship.
A family.
An amazing resource.
The Arc is fun.
The Arc helps people find their way.
The Arc is hope for a bright future.
The Arc is acceptance and empowerment.
We found out we had triplets. Everything seemed to be going fine until the 18th week, and we found out they would self-abort because they share nutrients amongst each other in unbalanced proportions. You know, again, divine intervention. We made it one day into the 25th week before they had to be taken emergency cesarean. They told us to try and pick out names because if they didn't make it, we wouldn't feel like naming them. Bob had wanted rhyming names, and so we had picked out Gina, Lena, and Tina. Gina Courtney is named after Bob's uncle and his grandfather, and she had the most likely chance of surviving of the three. So we gave her the family name. And Lena Corinne, I thought was the prettiest name. And they were so sure she wasn't going to make it. I thought that's all I could give her was a nice name. And then Tina, she got the leftover. But they fit their names. From their top of their head down to the top of their knees, they have issues. From the knees down, they're good. They have several diagnoses: cerebral palsy, sensory integration disorder, seizure disorder, moderate hearing loss and mild hearing loss, feeding disorder, reflux, chronic lung disease, pulmonary stenosis, which is a heart issue. They have hip dysplasia, a lot of vision issues, astropia, hypertropia, amblyopia, and all kinds of obias. It changed our whole life, our whole way of living, because they needed 24-hour care, and just thinking that there was no end in sight was a little scary. And then here's another transition coming up. You know, we got to find a kindergarten for them. You know, they're going to move on to kindergarten next year. I was turned down by 4 schools. That, you know, they would just go, whoa, you have way too many needs, and there's 3 of them. And it was very discouraging, and I was very scared, and I was beginning to think my only option was to homeschool. Sherry Horan, she was the teacher for Gina at the preschool, and she said, well, have you ever thought of going to a mobilizing families meeting? The Arc helped teach us to advocate for ourselves. One of the biggest things that helped us was meeting Corinne Gray, the education advocate. She's just armed with so much knowledge. I mean, immediately we had a school that would take not just 1 girl or 2 girls, all 3 girls, plus my son. It's like a secret society. You know, you have to know the rules and the code, you know, and you have to know, in order to get the things you need for your child, you have to know the right way to say it. The Arc, you know, tells you how to do that. All these people involved in the Arc, they have experience in all this. They know the secret codes. They know all the rules that are kind of hidden, and they're willing to share that with other families, which is wonderful. The Arc is empowerment.
The Arc helps everybody.
The Arc is for the kids.
The Arc is a lifesaver.
The Arc is motivating.
A sense of security for my daughter.
The Arc instills confidence in parents to advocate for their children.
The Arc is love. The Arc is love.